Hey everyone, welcome to Cowabunga Ranger Talk. We are here riding again for a new episode. This is the second part of our Next Mutation episode coverage, if you will. We're breaking it down. We're going to be covering some more of the episodes. And with me, as always, is my partner in crime, DTVA3.
Hey, everybody.
We got a cool one today. Uh, Before we get into it, just to give a couple of little pickups. I'm currently watching these two DVDs right here, Mom and
Okay.
New Girl. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like traditional sitcoms and stuff. So, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
for like $5, and I have them forever. It's not like the streaming thing of, oh man, if I didn't watch it today, I'll never get a chance to see it until next block or something.
Yeah.
The other pickup I got was this guy right here, the
Oh,
red the red convoy version of Optimus Primal, the
yeah.
action
Very
figure.
nice.
Yeah. Uh, you got any pickups or you're good?
Pickups? No, but I do have some news that I saw today.
Okay.
Um, I saw it off the Legacy of Nerd. He got it from a insider. The new Power Rangers show, the new reboot. The name of
Yeah.
it is just this. It's just the Power Rangers. Straight out. The main character is going to be Tommy, but the other characters are not any names that anybody will recognize, and there's no
Mhm.
Black Ranger at all. It is confirmed for an hour per episode, and other than that, like he said, all this is just still rumor, even though because the guy has an
But it,
insider that got the information for it, but until it actually is being told by Hasbro or one of the film companies, it's still a rumor. But
but it's
knowing
it's a
that
working rumor though,
it's
right?
a
Like
working rumor, yeah,
it's currently what's
exactly.
going on, quote unquote. Yeah.
Yeah. But for some reason there's no Black Ranger. So there's um all the main colors red, yellow, pink, blue, and green. No black. And
I
Tommy is supposed to be the leader of this time. And supposedly, according to his information, his sources, that Tommy does turn evil halfway through the show, and then he comes back to being good again. So it's a new outtake on Green is the evil Green or Green Go however it was in the show. I can't remember.
Green was
Uh,
evil, yeah.
Green with the evil. There you go. Yeah. Sorry, I've had a long day. I've been up since 3 this morning. I had to
Yeah.
do the morning shift at my job, and it's just killing me. So
Yeah.
bear with me, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sometimes he's up, sometimes I'm up, sometimes he's down, sometimes I'm down, but
That's
that's
right.
one of the advantages of co-hosting a show. if,
Exactly.
if it was just me or DTV, then we don't have a show today. Or some other day, some other stuff I've told. Well, we'll talk about that later. But uh, getting back to the show itself, yeah, I did see some of that. I think what they're probably gonna do, because like the big rumor is that they were gonna make a female Red Ranger again, right? Like, but a proper.
Yes.
So she's gonna be the new Mighty Morphin. But I didn't see this from the Legacy guy. I heard this through one of the Toku wikis or something.
Oh
One of
yeah,
those
Toko
forums.
Topics maybe.
No, like the
Oh,
forums. I
oh,
was
the
like, just
forums.
like,
Okay.
yeah, this is just people chatting. But the idea is, the working idea, quote unquote, is that these are like four new characters plus the Tommy character, and the Tommy character is probably gonna be dual powered. So
Okay.
he's gonna start green, then he'll probably change it to black, and then he'll come back to being green. But he steps down as leader because, yeah, from a couple of the sources, like he's gonna start the show as the leader, but he's not gonna
Yes.
stay the leader. Kind of like what they did with Rise of the Ninja Turtles with Raphael. He
Oh
starts as
yeah.
he starts as the leader, but then he comes back and he's not the leader anymore at the end of the show. Kind of, setting that
Yeah.
world up. So they're playing that hand. So that's
Yeah.
nothing out of this world. Uh,
I also heard it's in Angel Grove still, but it's not. But that's
yeah,
still cool. It throws it back to our time period, even though it's going to be a different universe,
the,
basically.
yeah, that's also one of the things that are kind of going on. That this is supposed to be a parallel thing,
Yeah,
so it doesn't erase everything that happened from '93. This is just like this is here and this is over here. So this is
yeah,
just happening, quote unquote. But we'll see what happens.
yeah. We'll see what happens.
One of the things, since we're talking the reboot and whatever, is there's a lot of misinformation here. This is why, like, we're talking on the working rumor because we don't want to say something specifically and then, oh man, we did.
Exactly.
Uh, there was because remember we talked about this. There was supposed to be the kids show and then the adult show, and we were also going to get a movie. So there was technically three projects in the air, right?
Yes.
And now they're kind of like all being jumbled into this one amalgamation of they're not TV shows, they're not 1 hour blocks, and then there's seven episodes or whatever episodes there are, but
Hmm.
they're trying to like format it more to Riverdale, like the Creepy Adventures of Sabrina, the Netflix one. You know, what I mean? They're trying to go darker,
Yeah.
but not super dark. So you really need somebody out here to like literally come out here and organize everything because there's just like I could come out here and say I'm the new Red Ranger, and since I'm wearing red, you might be like, well, maybe,
Right.
you know what I
And
mean?
I'm the new Black Ranger, right? No.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you're the mid-season reveal.
That's right. Don't tell anybody. No.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like, there's a lot of misinformation right now. So
Oh yeah, for sure.
this is bad, especially like, and we talked about this before. Not to harp on it too much, but there was no contingency plan. Like last year in like March, April, they basically Hasbro basically like turned everything off,
Yeah.
and like for the rest of the year there was nothing. And this year is an absolute nothing. We know this 2024 is blank. And
Yes.
next year, the idea is that we're gonna start filming sometime in the middle of 25. So that
Yeah.
means you're not gonna get the show even after ADR and the most basics of editing. You're not gonna get this until maybe 26,
Yeah. That's kind of
summer
sad.
some summer of 26, right? Like you don't see
Right.
it any. I don't see it coming back any earlier than that.
It could come out earlier than that, like at the.
I mean,
Yeah,
hauling
I don't
ass.
think it could. I mean, they could do something like have like a one-time episode special to see how it flies. Kind of like an old-fashioned like a pilot kind of thing to see how it flies out, see if it's even worth the time or effort. Um, they could do that,
See,
but I
one
don't.
of
I don't see it. I see they
yeah.
would be waiting till because Netflix doesn't just put one episode down. They usually do if it goes
The
through Netflix. If it goes
full
through
draft.
Netflix, it usually does like 3 or 4 episodes at a time.
Mhm.
You know, so yeah.
Yeah, so there's that. Here's another like little caveat that people don't really think about. You're talking about the show, but what about the
Mhm.
toy line? Would we hypothetically do something with the toy line to fill out this next year and a half? Because you got to do something. You literally can't go radio silent on a brand like this. You're literally just killing off the fan base.
Yeah.
This is you know, or the thing is, people. There's so many options. There's so many options right now.
Well,
You got
I know there's people out there that are still waiting for the Cosmic Fury toy line because people really did like those suits. People really like the Zords. And we
Never
never
gonna
got them.
happen. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so they still could release those this year, next year, whatever, and it would be okay because it's still a Hasbro product. It's still yeah. I don't see why they couldn't. Even if it's not the Zords, just the characters. Lloyd Zed, the Squid People, the Power Rangers themselves. So those are all original costumes. Um, yeah,
Yeah, that's 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 it too. Like, okay, if you pause everything for hypothetically until 26, let's say summer 26, we're gonna start brand new toy line, brand new
hmm
TV show, brand new everything, right? You've basically turned off the franchise for 3 years.
yeah,
That's a big gap for something that's been nonstop for 30 years. This isn't Street Sharks that you're pretending we've been around for 3 years. No, 30 years. No, this is actually 30 years lived for your fan base, and now
Mhm.
you know it's crazy to think about that because if you don't, I mean, like we said on another podcast, you'd have to open the license to somebody else. You'd have to tell 30 to, okay, start making the Machine Empire. I know you're making the Zeo suit, so make the Machine Empire suit, or make a, I don't know, make a Lost Galaxy. You got to do something to fill in that void,
Yeah,
or
definitely.
get something else. Like hypothetically, somebody from Hasbro might be watching this, so they're like, you know what, that guy created Mascara Fighters. Let's see what the hell Mascara Fighters is. Let's sign Mascara Fighters. So let's put the machine behind Mascara Fighters. But I don't think Hasbro. It'd be nice, but you
Oh,
know
it
what
would
I
be
mean.
nice. Yes.
But you need a new lead. Then fine. If Power Rangers is to the side, Transformers is basically where it's always gonna be.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's an institution type thing. So, but who's your hotness right now? You know what I mean? Like who's your hot artist at Hasbro? Like Mr. Potato Head? You can't even call him a Mister anymore.
No,
You just gotta call him Potato Head. Like
the
if you could
potato
get
head.
flagged,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I really don't know
Who's
what the hot thing is at Hasbro right now because they have so many dang franchises.
yeah,
That's the thing. Yeah.
yeah. I mean the okay. So because like you have only so many resources, and I know there's been all of the reports about this and that, and they're financially unstable or whatever, but bro, this is the toy industry too. Let's try and like curb our enthusiasm. Let's not cry doom either.
Yeah.
You have to have things coming out, unless they're thinking of like just sticking to like movie franchises. Like, okay, this year we're gonna make the Ghostbusters toys, and next year we're gonna make the Batman 2 toys, or the year after we're gonna make I don't know, Beetlejuice 5 toys, and like just try to like because you have to do something
Oh yeah,
as a
you gotta
toy
do
company.
something.
You have to fill in that void, even if it is just cyclical. Because let's be real, those Ghostbuster toys are not gonna last on shelves. I mean, they're gonna peg warm pretty hard. They're already kind of peg warming, and the movie hasn't even come out, and it looks great,
Yeah.
by the way. The Frozen Empire thing, that
Yeah.
thing looks really really
Oh,
fun.
it does. I love Ghostbusters, but I was always a fan of the movies. I've just never been a fan of collecting the toys.
Yeah,
That's the same thing with Power Rangers. I'm a fan of the original MMRP toy line, but I really can care less about collecting all the other lines of the MMRP, even though the shows are good. You
yeah,
know, um, and that's the thing with collectors. Certain collectors want to collect everything of the franchise, and there's those collectors like me that want to collect a certain part of the franchise. Doesn't mean they
yeah,
don't like the franchise, the other ones, but they just don't really care to collect all that. In my
yeah,
case, most of that reasoning is because I don't got the space. Space is everything, as you know.
yeah. A collector's worst enemy.
That's I told you
Where do I
last time.
put this shit? Yeah.
Like I told you last time, I got a display stand. It looks fantastic. I haven't took a picture to show you yet, but it looks fantastic.
Hmm.
But I still got tons and tons of Power Ranger stuff in my closet. I got Power Ranger stuff in a big tote that I can't put on display because it doesn't have enough space in the display cabinet. But it has enough for just the Super Seven, Wave One and Three, and a few extra things. So that's pretty much what I bought it for was my Super Seven stuff, anyways. But
Yeah.
anyways, I'll get a picture of that and I'll show it to you later.
Oh yeah, sounds cool. Kind of moving on from that, on another little note that we kind of touched on, but we weren't sure. Super Seven. So we're like jumping a little bit of news bits and things. Super Seven. They had that picture. Remember, I had told you the gray and white that was supposed to be kind of the Mirage Turtles.
Yes,
It's been confirmed by multiple sources that they're just repaints and they're
that's
reaction
super nice.
figures. They're
Okay.
they're reaction. I don't know if they're gonna get different heads, but that's basically the idea going around.
Yeah, they might
And
have different heads. They might have all the because what they're showing is an old-fashioned Kevin Eastman and Lloyd drawing. Because I've seen
yeah,
it on the last video. I edited that post in from Super Seven, so it would be showing.
yeah, those are reactions. That's
Yeah.
that's like
Okay.
99. A couple of the developers that work on the projects even confirmed it. So if they're
Yeah, that's kind of
developers, the designers,
Yeah,
You
that's
know
kind
where
of
we're going.
disappointing. I was hoping for them to be a big 7 inch or even 6 or whatever. You know. Yeah. I don't really care for the reaction. I mean, yeah, it's a good line. It's a good way to start collecting if you're not a don't have much space, because they're tiny. But
Yeah,
yeah, they. I wish those were bigger.
yeah. Another thing on Super Seven, the 2003 like reboot toys that they're doing,
Yes.
they're coming along, but that's basically the only thing to note like about that, which is weird to even say this because their thought process isn't to announce and then show you a product. Their thing is to announce something, show you a render, and then 2 years later you might get it. So
Yeah.
what are you prepping? Are you prepping the render so much, or are you prepping the CAD model? If you have the CAD model, you need to send that thing to print then, or send to factory if you're already that far ahead with the
Yeah.
turtle bucks.
I remember seeing the renders for Madame Rowe and White Tiger Zord.
Yeah,
Yeah, and they don't have any functionality. I mean, literally, they're just like statues. So I don't know if they
yeah,
render it fast or they just are. Here's the design. Here we can do a quick paint over it to see what it looks like, and then we're gonna figure out how to articulate. Yeah. But yeah, Super
yeah,
7 takes a while, and that's one of their downfalls is that they take forever to get to the consumer. And they realize that. I watched a thing with Brian Flynn, and he was just talking about how people that have been with Super 7 understand that Super 7 takes a while, but the newer day customer does not, and they get frustrated, cancel the order, and blah, blah, blah. And it's true. Oh, they wait for things to go on discount, and by then, Super 7 really doesn't have a cut of it.
are you talking about that interview they did with uh Foosh? I think they've split off from Foosh or whatever. They rebranded to Robo Don't Know or whatever. Veebs. These guys
Uh,
are the same colors. That's the interview you're talking about. The one
it
that's
might,
supposed to be the one that's supposed to be sacrilegious, that they call it the first Friday, like the
yeah,
first
yeah, First
Sundays.
Friday.
The first Sundays, like really, you could come up with a different name, but whatever. I'm not gonna get
Yeah,
into that, but
no, yeah,
that's basically
it's
the card they're playing.
yeah, it's that guy. It's that guy. He talks to him every
Oh,
month.
the guy. Yeah, yeah, the guy that agrees with him before the guy finishes his sentences. Sorry, bro,
Yeah,
but come on.
I,
Let the, he agrees before he says anything. Yeah, I know.
exactly.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, huh, of course. Yes, bro. Finish the sentence.
You know.
Uh huh. Uh huh. Yeah, you're the greatest. You're the greatest.
Um,
You're the champ, kid.
exactly. All right, how about
Oh
we jump
man.
into this?
Yeah, yeah. Let's
So,
jump into the episodes.
so first of all, this show is becoming very hard to watch. Yeah, because I can see why I didn't make a second season. So, anyways, we ended up on episode 14. So we did 13, and now we're on 14. I actually had to go back and watch our podcast, where we ended off since it was so long. So episode 14 is called Truce and Conquer, or Conquer, sorry. And basically, the rundown is you see Michelangelo doing his radio show, and Wick, the little dragon from Dragon. I almost said Lord Dragon, sorry. Lord Dragon. Uh, he's listening to the radio show, and he calls in, and basically he's making a fan club for Michelangelo. And so Michelangelo goes back to the Turtle Den and tells the Turtles that the dragons are not evil anymore, and they have a fan club for him. And Donatello had just made a lie detector machine, and Donnie asked Mikey, "Do you have a tape of your show?" And Mikey has a tape for his show, of course, because everybody records a show when you're driving a Humvee. But so he listens back to the show with his lie detector, and of course it's all green, 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 so it's all true, true, true. And so Mikey gets excited, goes to this little party for him with the dragons and Wick. And when he gets there, Rick wants him to sign an autograph for him, and he went to go return this little pin, and then Rick's like, "No, no, no, the pin's yours. Keep it, keep it, keep it. It's a gift." and all of a sudden this smoke comes out of it and knocks him out and makes him fall asleep. Basically, it was a trick to capture Michelangelo. I don't remember how much you remember the show exactly.
Yeah, I remember this. I remember
Okay,
this.
so
I'll go ahead. I'm sorry.
so at the end of the episode, the turtles find out where he's at, and he goes and going to go rescue them or rescue him. Sorry, and all the turtles do is Donatello gives Lord Dragon his specialized, custom, one of a kind staff, saying that if you hit the button, uh, it will, shock or I can't know exactly what he said, but basically he hits the button and Lord Dragon gets shocked and a big fight happens. Venus undoes Michelangelo and they get away pretty much.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember this. This was one of those filler episodes that, bro, fillery as hell for this one. I mean, I remember this.
Most of this show's fillery as hell. That's how I'm
Yeah,
feeling. I actually had to after I watched what is it? Oh, like the episode. I watched episode 18. I said I have to quit. I can't watch this more. I'm getting not only my
yeah,
hand is getting tired, but my brain is getting tired. No, I
yeah,
mean I understand where they're coming from in this episode. Trying to get you know something a little different than the typical. I'm gonna go look for the bad guy. We're gonna fight the bad guy. Blah blah blah. I mean, it's already been established that Michelangelo has a very popular radio show. Because I one episode where they have a big mask party. Like I think that was episode 10 or 12, something like that. But
yeah,
yeah, but basically the dragons just want to eat the turtles.
yeah,
Instead of saying turtle soup, now it's I just want to eat your skin. But yeah,
yeah. I remember this. You know why I remember this episode? For two
why?
reasons. Number one, this reminds me of like four different episodes of the show. So, because a lot of these episode beats are like repeating themselves pretty hard. Like if you think about it, this reminds you of like you said, the one with Bone Steel and the party. It reminds you of the one where he's just driving around the city in the Hummer and just
Yeah,
talking, and he runs into Bone Steel, and Bone Steel tries to make him into a pizza. And like a lot of these episodes like run together. And the other thing that I'll say specifically about this episode had the absolute worst puppeteering I've ever seen in my life, bro. With
oh
that
yeah.
wick, oh my god, bro! Like you didn't even try. There were scenes where they just grabbed the damn thing and they threw it. Like worse than Alf.
Oh
That'll make me,
yeah.
but that'll that'll. He's not 19 if he knows Alf, but
Yeah,
yeah, that
no.
that was some bad puppeteering, bro. Like, oof,
Oh, I
it was
was.
worse.
Just
Yeah,
like when he's listening to the show and Lord Dragon says, "Where'd you learn these words?" And he says, "From the sewer hour," and he just starts laughing and giggling on the floor, And Michelangelo says something of the sort of, "Don't let the power bring you down. Let's get something." Something. He crashes, goes, "Yeah, let's do this." And Lord Dragon goes, "Yeah." And it's like, really, dude. It's like you have
yeah.
this puppet on the ground just basically talking. That's it. It's like, come on. It's like you're not even trying to get him back up, stand up for nothing. You just
That's
have
what
him
I'm
laying
saying.
there.
It just can't like the puppeteering. Like that's the first thing they cut in their budget. Like you
Yes.
have you have a character that's basically a puppet.
Mm-hmm.
Why not keep a little bit of and a talking puppet that has so much dialogue, bro? As a showrunner, like you figure, put a little money into that. Get away from all the farting sounds that the show has through everything. That
Yeah,
yeah. Take
exactly.
away that money and put it into the puppeteer. Give him an extra 20 or something to make sure the character
Yeah.
actually looks like he's talking. Bro. Like we've all seen other stuff like the Muppets, Alf, the dinosaurs. You remember that show,
Oh, I
Dinosaurs? With
loved the dinosaurs when I was younger. Yes. Not the
bro,
mom. Yeah.
yeah, bro. I think your boy, the comedian, the Jim Dungan. You know who I'm talking
Done.
about?
Yeah.
Jim Duggan. Jim
Jim.
something. Yeah, Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff, right?
Jeff Dunham. Jeff Dunham.
Jeff Dunham. Yeah, Jeff Dunham could have done a better puppeteering job than this, bro. This was,
Yeah, exactly. I
ooh,
mean, come on. He has jalapeno on a stick. He has a stick puppet. Literally.
bro. this episode felt like a stick, bro. I'm not gonna lie. This was rough
Yeah.
times.
Well, I
Uh,
noticed the next few episodes are like just for one total. One total.
yeah.
Like the next one called Sewer Crash.
Okay,
And
what's Super Crash about?
Sewer Crash was interesting. Basically, it starts off with Donatello in front of a computer typing, and all of a sudden, there's a message that pops up on the screen. Sorry. Uh, what did it say? Something about I will obey. I will obey. Basically, he gets hypnotized, and you don't know who's hypnotizing him at first. And basically becomes a jewel thief. Like he goes steals some jewels and gold and stuff like that, and gives them to the person that's hypnotizing him. To find out it is Dawn. Oh, Silver. It was Silver. Sorry, Silver hypnotizes them, and to the point of where one of the words is because he asks his little gang, "What can we do to keep him hypnotized?" And he makes the word banana. So they use the word banana to hypnotize and dehypnotize him. And of course, he acts weird in front of the turtles. Like he doesn't sleep at night because he doesn't, but he doesn't know why he's tired. And Raphael gets kind of suspicious and asks him, "Where you going?" And all he says, "I must obey. I must obey." And he keeps robbing these different jewelry shops. And Server's like, "I got one big heist for you to do." And Raphael finds out that he's leaving with a surfboard, and he follows him to a museum of some sort to steal this golden gem banana, this really fancy looking banana that's like made out of gold and gems.
Mhm.
And Raph's like, "What are you doing?" And he goes, I don't know. He says something about to the point of, "I must obey." And he goes with the banana, and he cops out, and Silver's there too. And Silver's like, "Banana." And he grabs the banana and goes, yeah, the whole episode is just about Donatello getting hypnotized by Silver. And at the end of the episode, they're at Silver's because Don's like, "I got a plan, Raphael, how I can get Silver behind bars, and so let's go do it." And because he's still hypnotized, and because Raph doesn't know it, and
Mhm.
so Raph and Don goes to Silver's lair, and it's a trap for Raphael because Silver knows about Raphael finding out that Donatello is a jewel thief.
Mhm.
And Raphael finally figures out at the end of the show that the word banana is controlling him. So him and Silver back and forth, banana, 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 banana. And all of a sudden, Donnie just kind of snaps. Like his brain just like snaps. Like kind of like one of those things you see in a cartoon. All of a sudden, you see the brain
Yeah.
explode kind of idea.
Yeah.
And Silver's like, "Oh no!" And they're like, "Banana, banana." And Donnie's like, "What? What?" You know, and basically escapes. And that's pretty much the episode. It's just about Donatello's becoming a jewel thief and getting hypnotized by Silver.
Yeah.
Um, Again, another. It feels like another filler. It's nothing really to do with a total show or nothing. It's just more of a here is a episode because we're on a budget and we need to have so many episodes for this season. Let's do something that makes Turtles look like a
Yeah.
bad guy but stupid. you know,
Yeah.
because you got a
There.
genius, getting hypnotized by his own computer. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember this. I don't know if you're gonna cover it today, but there's one of the episodes that's basically Raph and one of the rank characters stuck in a haunted house for the
Oh,
entire episode.
that's the next one. That's the next
Oh my
one.
god, that is probably the worst episode of the series. Oh my god,
I don't know if
that
you. Maybe it's not the next one, but the next one's
that's
called Going
the
Eight.
cheapest. Oh, well, yeah. Well, uh, I'll say this too. Maybe they did this because they were recording all multiple episodes at a time. So like, okay, you're doing the Donatello episode. Okay, so then Team B is doing the Raphael episode, and then the C team is recording pickup shots for the backgrounds and some splinter lines and things like that to try to because since everything was in such a tight budget, and I believe this was in Canada, right? So like this was like run and gun type of thing, very
Yeah,
independent. And Saban was like
did we freeze? I think we froze.
paratroopers, yeah. VR Troopers. There was Mystic Knights of Tyr and Oak, and then finally the Ninja Turtles. So plus Bobby's World and Life with Louie and all of these other little shows like that, and Bump in the Night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be a problem? Not you. We're having some technical difficulties here. You gotta hang on with us. Okay. Yeah. Just a minute. Let's try something here. Okay. So let's move on to Going Ape, episode 16, Going Ape. This one is what you kind of saying boring, kind of like a filler episode, kind of why kind of thing, you know? Basically, this one is Raph getting hunted by Bonestein. Basically, the opening of this show, or this episode, is Raph driving his motorcycle, and Bonestein sees him and is going to run after him, capture him. They do this little foot scene where Raphael's running around, and he goes around this corner and picks up a newspaper, and Bonestein looks at him and goes, "Have you seen a giant turtle run through here?" And he goes, "No, no, I haven't seen." I forget what he says. Something about like haven't seen myself, or no, he's not here, or I'm not here, or something like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What?" Anyways, they're running. Well, on the newspaper says, "Killer ape escapes from zoo," and so you see, yeah, and you see Raph. He runs, and he runs into this old haunted mansion. My first thought was Big
That's
Bad
the episode.
Beetleborgs.
That's the episode I told you that this is found. Like, oh my god.
Yeah. And the first thing I thought of when I first saw that big haunted mansion from the outside and they walked in, it was like Big Bad Beetleborgs. They're reusing the Big Bad Beetleborgs haunted mansion. And pretty much, actually, one for one, if you really look at it closely, you can see the difference of the camera angles, but it's pretty much the same mansion, I'm pretty sure. But basically, Bonestein's going after him, and they're in the mountain, and he's walking up the stairs, and all of a sudden, Bonestein grabs him and says, "I got you," and he hangs him up, and Bonestein goes, "Do you have any last words before I skin you?" And he goes, "Ape." And he goes, "What?" He says, "Ape." And he goes, "Why do you keep saying ape?" And all of a sudden, behind him is the big giant killer ape. And it just becomes a funny, like, montage of the Three Stooges kind of thing, of the old fashioned cartoons.
Yeah, I
And then they
remember
always,
this.
and then they pan over to
The
the
Benny Hill
turtles.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and they pan over the turtles. Everyone's all they're going, "Raph's taking a long time. I guess Raph's having fun without us." Well, and it's like, why was Raph gonna have fun without you guys? It's like all they did was complain. Like they would have these little 3-second snippets of the other turtles complaining about how Raph's not there, how he's having fun without him, and how he always does this type of thing. As Bonestein and Raphael has to work together, and at the end the dragons come into it. I mean, like you said, it's just a filler episode again, and basically Bonestein and Raph at one point has a truce to get out of the house alive. And Bonestein turns on him, and then the ape turns on Bonestein, and Raphael and the ape are friends. But the next episode, there's nothing to do with the ape. It's just, I don't know. It was just one of these episodes. It's like, I see the view. I understand what you're going to, but it's not matching up with any of the other two episodes. Like, there's no flow from one episode to the next episode. The next episode, it's just like, here's a story. Oh, that story's over. Let's go to the next story. That story's over. Let's do this story. And it's like there's just nothing there. There's just multiple little stories that have nothing to do with the main storyline.
Yeah.
Besides, there's a main character, a villain character, and the main dragons. If it wasn't for the dragons characters, none of these would actually do anything. It'd just be its own little storyline.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically the whole episode is just Bonestein and Raphael running around with their heads cut off, trying to stay away from the ape and working together to survive. And at the very end, the ape and Raphael becomes friends. So it's like, okay,
Yeah. Man, I remember this episode too, bro. Like that guy in the monkey suit. Oh my god, he wasn't even like. I think you could see the zipper when he's turning around. Like they're not even trying, bro. Like
No.
in the chase scene, he has to kind of fix the headpiece.
Uh-huh.
But-
Yeah, no, the episode could have been pretty good. I mean, it could have just been a haha thing, like I said, the Three Stooges or
yeah,
any of those type of comedy things. But no, again, they just
yeah. It seems
I
like a
know,
Laurel and Hardy thing. Yeah, one
yeah.
of those old
And
school
Bonestein, I
comedy.
realized that Bonestein's trying to be Michael Keaton so badly, like he's like from Beetlejuice or something that crazy type person, and it's just, and I think that's what he was going for was that Michael Keaton crazy type, and it was just like this is interesting. Bonestein has become very interesting character, and yeah, I just think it's just a filler episode again. You
Yeah.
know, the,
They do
the,
this too much. Okay, we talked about this in the last time we were talking about the show. Everybody's a joke. You could have two jokes, but you can't have the whole show be a joke because then what are the stakes? If Bone Steel is because that the Hunter Bone Steel is the comedy relief, fine. But then no, then he's the threat. And
yeah,
is the same thing for Silver. Silver is supposed to be the threat, but he's also the comedy because he has a lot of this back and forth with Michelangelo and like come here, Greenie, and all of these other like little
mm-hmm.
jabs at each other. So everybody and moving forward, you're gonna see the other characters. The rank isn't really a threat. Like
No,
as a show, what the hell does the rank do? I think in one episode they literally like flatten one of the rank characters with like they
yeah,
they steam pressed of a rank character like literally to death. They're like, these characters are supposed to be these big bad dragons from a magical mirror, and these guys are
yeah,
nothing. Uh, I don't know. This show has very little stakes. The
it really
only
does. Well, at least the
uh,
next episode actually has some type of plot and some type of actually story behind it. It's
okay, what
called
is it?
it's called The Enemy of My Enemy.
All right.
This one was interesting because again, it's been years since I've seen the show. I don't even think I even finished the show, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, the opening is Splinter outside, and these two punk kids are beating up this old man, and Splinter stops it, and they call it the two punk kids say, "It's a giant possum," and he goes, "Possum? I'm not a possum." But then he goes looks at the old man, and it is Shredder. Shredder's the old man, and he recognizes
Yeah,
him.
this was a good episode.
It was a
I
great
liked it
episode.
because you bring back Shredder, but
Uh-huh.
man, you should have done more of these Shredder. I don't even mind the idea of homeless Shredder. Fine, let's go with it. If that's your idea, let's go with homeless Shredder. But that should be your constant then.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
this.
they're bringing it back to the sewer. Oh, Splendor brings it back to the sewer, and all the turtles like, "What are you doing? That's Shredder. He's our enemy." Blah blah blah.
Yeah, he's trying to kill
And
us for
he tried to
10
kill
years.
us and all that. And he goes, "People change. Something like people change and blah blah blah." And the turtles like, "No, no one changes. Like not the Shredder. Shredder doesn't change. Blah blah." And of course, Splinter makes him. Of course, Shredder owes Splinter a debt because the ninja way. You saved my life. I have to do something for you kind of thing. And this is how they kind of explain it in the show. So Splinter makes him do an exercise where he picks up trash, and the dragons find out there's I'm gonna call it a ninja star. I can't remember what it's actually called, but it's a golden shuriken, so ninja star that Shredder has and has all these magical powers and blah 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 blah. To find out that it was actually Splinter's master that actually owned it, and Shredder stole it from his master. So in this case, Splinter is still that Baby Rat from the original Ninja Turtle movie. He's just a pet. And of course, the dragons are trying to get it. I think the dragons do get in the episode, the Shuriken. And then Splinter gets it. And then the Shredder steals from Splinter again and does this ninja move where he knocks over all of them, Splinter and the four turtles. And he runs away. And Splinter says, "I guess you will always be my enemy." And Shredder goes, "And you'll just be a pet rat." And yeah, great episode. I mean, it gives you back to the history of the turtles right there, just by those one little saying. And you see Splinter laughing, and the Turtles look at Splinter and goes, "What's wrong with you? Why are you laughing? We just lost it." He goes, "Because my enemy's back." And it makes plenty of sense because you can't have a good guy and trying to, do something for a TV show without a, main bad guy. And the main bad guy is Shredder, and the main good guy, theoretically, is Splinter. Just the brothers are the ones doing Splinter's dirty deeds in the main sense. And it's always been that way since the comic books. And we lost connection again. All right, so we lost Mascara. Something's going on with the internet. So I'm just gonna finish out this last episode. It's called King Wick. So if you guys seen this show, just let me know in the comments. Let me know your opinions of this TMNT Next Mutation. But King Wick is just a episode of the Lord Dragon and his little minion Wick. And Rick is making this potion, and it's supposed to like make King Wick, makes him King Rick when he drinks it, but you don't see him drink it ever. But you see the Lord Dragon say something to King Wick, and King Wick makes these lights come out of his eyes. These beams shocks the heck out of Lord Dragon and drains all of his power, all of his power. Woo! Anyway, so King Rick becomes King Rick. His voice changes and all that. The puppet and all that becomes this big, bad, evil dude going after the Turtles himself. They get into a little fight. Turtles, basically, lose the first fight. Retract back to the Turtle lair and regroup, and then go back and fight him again. And King Rick fires his little eye lasers, and Leo finds out that he can reflect it with his sword, and he does that, hit King Rick. Rick becomes all this electrical, electrocution, and Leo loses all of his powers, and Lord Dragon gets his powers back, and basically tortures the heck out of King Rick at the end of the show. Turtles win, they go back to the story. It's again, it's just kind of a mainline story that kind of dragged on just a little too long, in my opinion, as well. But yeah, these Next Mutation. I think it has like 26 episodes, and we're only on episode 18. But if you guys like this type of content, please like, subscribe, and hit the follow button, hit that notification bell. Share the video. I'm sorry that Mascara had some technical issues on his part and my part. I had some technical issues too. But overall, it's been a great show. And I know if Mascara was here, he would say bye and see you next time. And don't forget to share your comments. We love your comments, and we will answer all of them when they come up. Maybe not immediately, but because, I'm busy with work, and my other YouTube channels, Mascara is busy with his Troy line, his TV shows, his work. We all are busy in life, and we all have fun in life. So thanks for watching again, and I'll catch you on the next podcast of CRT. Peace.